Well, the wait for Journey's End continues. What are you playing while you wait? Terraria or some other game? At any rate, while we're waiting for ReLogic to get approval from Microsoft and Sony for the big 1.4 patch for consoles, ReLogic's Loki was fielding questions both on the official forums and on Twitter. So here's a little midweek update for you all. First, the official forums, where ED209 wrote, "Loki, which version of 1.4 are we getting? Will the Torch God be included, or will we have to wait for that?" And actually, it was another poster, Nigel Fazbear, who wrote 1405 equivalent with Torch God, yes. And Loki agreed, saying this. Farjuquil wrote, certification on Xbox generally takes about 5 days given what other developers have said, so it's likely that PlayStation and or Xbox had issues with certification. Loki was there to correct this by writing, certification is not a monolithic experience. Time taken greatly depends on the amount of content and the complexity of the game. Taking what other random developers have experienced and assuming it applies isn't necessarily accurate. For me, I look at how long our own past subs have taken to get a sense of timing, but even that is so variable that I couldn't venture a guess. Both of those dynamics above work against us here. That said, and as I mentioned elsewhere, having more than one submission pass is not abnormal, especially on an update of this magnitude coupled with a lot of overhauled pieces. Also, who knows what COVID and such does to the timeline. And yes, if possible, and the gap isn't too large, we would like to release them both at the same time. Hopefully we'll have an update on timing soon. ZimHobo13 writes, so, I have a question. I honestly don't keep up to date with forums, so it was probably stated elsewhere and I just didn't see. Will the update be released on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 as well, or is it just for the newer generation of consoles? Loki's answer to that was, it would be primarily Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and then the newer consoles still have it playable via backwards compatibility. We do not yet have any PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X exclusive version or anything like that. Gary 2.0 writes, the moment the update is greenlighted, will it be out on console, or will take, for example, 30 minutes or a day? Loki's response was, we will still have to press a final launch button on our end, which allows for better coordination of, say, both to launch together if possible. That was it for the official forums. Moving on to Twitter next. This guy wrote, Loki, any updates for progress? Been waiting months and got so hyped for the news that it could be any day now. What's the best rough estimate, like 1 to 3 days or longer? Loki tweeted back, don't have a rough estimate even to give. Always the chance a second submission will be needed if things are required to be fixed as well. Harrison Salaz 20 wrote, or tweeted rather, Loki, how big would the 1.4 update be in gigabytes? Loki wasn't sure. He wrote, not sure. I could look at the file I have to load for testing, but that might not be accurate at all. And just for reference, I checked my installed folder on my computer, and it's still under 500 megabytes, so less than half a gigabyte. I would be surprised if it was even that large given compression and whatnot. Moving along, Rawls tweeted, Loki, will we get secret seeds in console 1.4 or seeds at all? Loki said, yes and yes. The secret seeds available will be those that shipped with 1.4.05. And there are some good ones. There are plenty of videos and guides out there if you're curious what those secret seeds involve. And then finally, Dreaming tweeted, so Journey's End is due next year? Oh, come on. Loki wrote, I would be beyond stunned if it took that long. And let's hope Loki is right with that comment, because I think that would throw us all into fits. And that's it. My next video will hopefully cover the release of Journey's End for Xbox and PlayStation. Fingers crossed, everyone. At any rate, that's all, so I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.